Okay, it's my last day here in Saigon, and I'm about to head down to Can Tho to visit the other part of the family. Just sitting here at the bus station waiting for our first transfer to take us to the main bus station. From there, we'll be taking a sleeper bus down to Can Tho. I'm actually quite excited to see what this bus looks like. Apparently, it's got beds and stuff. All right, I am on the sleeper bus, and this is actually pretty cool. The beds are quite narrow, so I can't imagine larger people really fitting in here comfortably. But there's Darren on the other side. We are on the ground, and there are also ones up top. I don't know if you can see that. And the bus is pretty spacious. There are no washrooms on this bus. So if you need to pee, you're SOL. So I didn't really drink a lot of fluids before I got on here. Should be okay. I just went to the washroom, so I should be alright. Shouldn't have any issues. Apparently there's Wi-Fi on this bus too, but I guess it doesn't really matter to me too much since I got a lot of data. I'm just taking a nice long nap. And wake up in Can Tho. I am here in Can Tho, and I'm ready to visit my family. So I'm going to be visiting my uncle, who is my dad's younger brother, his wife, his two kids, Bao An and Như An, and also Như An's family also lives there with their two children and husband. So the hotel I got is this Line Hotel just right behind me here, and this hotel happens to be on the same street as their home. So this is why I booked it, just to be nice and close. So Bao An knows that I'm here, but I told him that don't tell his parents that I'm coming. I'm just gonna walk over and surprise them. They're just down the street right here, only 50 meters, they said. Oh, is that a mosque over there? Looks like a mosque way down there. I can't remember if this was the same house they lived in when I first visited. It might be, I just don't know, because everything's kind of confusing around here. But I'm almost there. It's number 24. I'm already at 36. Uh-oh, I think there's somebody sitting in the window there looking at me. That's probably them. Yeah. All right, turn my camera around. Oh yeah, that's their house for sure. Hello. Hi, Tim. Xin chào Thím. Hi. Thấy đi sao? Phải không?
Bạn con đâu?
Không, nó đi khách sạn của nó, nó đợi chỗ khác.
Vậy hả?
Tại nó muốn mướn khách sạn
Gần chợ hay gì?
gần cái sông mà. Xạo luôn rồi.
Đi mình hả?
Đi mình. Các bạn gọi khách sạn. Như đâu, Như đi làm hả?
Như làm rồi. Đây là nội.
Ông nội với bà nội hả? Dạ. There are my grandparents. morning. We are at the floating market in Can Tho. It is 5:15 in the morning, and it's already hustling and bustling. People here get started really early, and yeah, we got our own private charter, our own private boat to check out the floating market where you can buy all kinds of goods. Let's see how it goes. In the distance, you might be able to see the sun just about to come up, sunrise. The sky is red in the distance.
Chú lại vô đó thì chú mới đi.
Nó bảo nó nghe, trời ơi, nó cười.
Rồi đây kia này. Cái này gì không?
Có đi tàu riêng. Thì cái thằng nãy nó lên mình xuống đây đi, nó chạy tàu lên.
Is it? How is it different?
It actually ships stuff anymore. Because they don't ship stuff by boat anymore.
Like goods? Like large goods?
Yeah.
Công á.
Biết rồi.
Đổ giờ biết không?
Yeah, biết chứ.
Trung Quốc là đâu đi Tây Tạng anh nhận đổ vậy.
As you can see behind me, the sun is about to come up there in the east. So we must be facing east right now. And this harbor is abuzz with boats and people getting ready to get out there onto the river. This river is part of the Mekong River. I think it's a tributary of it.
Con ngồi đó đi.
It's just us, sir.
Yeah, it's just us. So wherever you want.
Dạ lấy mã vào thôi, con hết nha.
We're now on the river, just cruising along. I'm not sure exactly where we're going. The river is really interesting looking. There's tons of growth on here.
Với họ chú Năm, chú Ba đâu là phụ với mình trong đó.
Here's the first one of the first floating markets. This looks like a gas station. Gas station.
Cá quá chặt.
So we can get some gas, looks like. Wow, this lady lives here or works here? Does she live here or work here? So Anthony,
Small grocery store on the river.
she owns this restaurant. She owns this gas station on the river, and she lives here.
Gas station. A grocery store.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. It's quite the lifestyle. Cho nói cái răng, this market has been around since the early 1900s. Back when there were no roads, no bridges, the river was the highway. The traders would come as far away as An Giang, Vĩnh Long, Sóc Trăng, loading up their boats with fruits, vegetables, rice, sometimes traveling overnight just to get here before the sun rises. At its peak in the 1900s, 500 boats or more would show up every single morning. Can you imagine that? The way it worked was actually simple and kind of beautiful. Sellers would hang whatever they were selling off a long pole at the front of the boat. No shouting, no signs, just a pineapple or a bunch of mangoes swaying in the wind. But things have changed. Today there are probably about 200 boats left, fewer than half of what it was during its peak. Roads got built, kids went to schools. So yeah, I paid $25 for this private tour. And honestly, even at a third of what it used to be, this was totally worth it. Okay, we made our first purchase on the boat, on a floating boat, on a floating store, and we got coffee. Exactly what I needed for this time of day. It's 6 o'clock in the morning now. So we made a quick stop here to get some breakfast. There is a floating restaurant here that sells noodles. So we're just gonna get some noodles. It was very tied to the river markets because there weren't many bridges that were built. So the people had to rely on having a boat to meet each other to do commerce.
Đủ rồi. Đủ giờ đâu. Rồi đây bánh hai hỏi hai uống một bánh canh. Chiếc tàu màu hồng ghé kịp lên. Chỉ chỗ cho nên ghé.
Dạ rồi, anh chị mang mã đọt 592 đi cùng nhân di chuyển lại tàu tại chuẩn bị xuất bến anh chị ơi. Em xin nhắc lại, anh chị mang mã đọt 592 đi cùng nhân di chuyển lại tàu tại chuẩn bị xuất bến.
Cho em rồi con.
Là dấu hiệu tuổi tác.
Có chưa? Đưa cho em.
À. Lần đưa con lấy chiếu mày không có.
Đưa cái giỏ cho mày mà. Làm mất.
All right, so I'm just walking around on the south side of the river in Can Tho, near the hotel I'm staying at, near my uncle's place. And this is quite a, as you can see here, quite a quiet intersection. Very quiet. As you can see, I was able to cross the street without any troubles, that's for sure. Anyway, so I got about a 35-minute walk to Wink's Hotel where Darren is staying at. And I thought I would just fire this thing up and record myself and just talk about everything so far, I guess. So, Can Tho is a city with about a 4 million population with surrounding areas, is what my uncle told me. I haven't fact-checked that, but I'll take his word for it. You know, it is, for a smaller city, it's much, much quieter. I mean, 4 million people is still, you know, 4 times the size of, well, 3 times the size of Calgary, where I live. But this doesn't feel like a city with 4 million people. At least not the area that I'm in anyway. Last night, Saturday night, was pretty bumping where we were by the river where I guess most people probably gather. That's probably the downtown area, I'm pretty sure. But it still wasn't as crazy as Saigon was. Saigon is absolute pure chaos and madness. As much as I love Saigon, I don't think I could ever live there. It's just too much. It's too noisy, it's too many people, it's crowded. The air is not so fresh. The air is much better out here. You can really like smell it, breathe it. You can tell that it's cleaner. And I like the fact that it's a bit quieter. I do like a little bit of hustle and bustle here and there, but Ho Chi Minh was a bit much, to say the least. The one thing I've noticed about Vietnam are things like this, where the infrastructure and things are starting to get a little worn out. You don't really see that where I live. So that's one thing about Canada and Calgary that I really appreciate. You know, sidewalks coming apart like this pose quite a danger for people walking. But, you know, I believe back home, if the sidewalk was like that, you could probably sue the city and get some money, but I'm not sure if you can sue anybody here for that kind of shit. You know, it's just this open hole that somebody could accidentally walk into. Is absolutely insane to me that it's just like that. It reminds me a lot of Colombia, where there are sidewalks that are definitely like that out there. So you always gotta look where you're walking. So if you ever come to Vietnam, you will be approached by these people who sell lottery tickets. And they're usually disabled or really old, sometimes even kids. And they get a commission selling these tickets. So I actually bought a couple today. I figured, I asked my uncle about it, like, I asked how it works, how you know if you won, all that kind of stuff, because I've always kind of wanted to buy them, but I wasn't sure like what I was getting myself into, so I never bothered. But I finally did buy a pair today from the first person that came up to me that were hawking these lottery tickets. And I guess the premise is pretty simple. Every day there's a draw, and you just gotta match as many numbers as you can. The more numbers you match, the more you win. And it looks like if you match all 7 numbers on your ticket, you get a prize of 2 billion dong. So 2 billion dong is roughly about $100,000 Canadian, which is a massive, massive, massive amount of money for someone here who probably averages $400 to $500 a month in income. I think that's about average here. But there was a bit of a sad story when it comes to the lottery ticket that I bought today. This lady was telling me that somebody, so this I didn't know, so I found out after, but somebody gave her fake winning tickets that she paid out herself. So I guess you can collect winnings from these lottery sellers. I thought you had to go to like the store. My uncle told me you have to go to the store to collect. So I just assumed that's what it was. But apparently you can collect from these people that sell these tickets. And she pulled out these tickets and she showed me that this person had cut out the numbers and glued them onto his ticket to make it look like a winning ticket. And apparently she lost 900,000 dong from this scam from this person. And she looked absolutely devastated. Now, again, I don't know if that was just a sob story to get me to give her some money or not. But either way, if it's true, man, that's terrible, because these people are only making about 10% commission on each sale. So when I bought my lottery ticket, I paid 10,000 dong each for them, and they get 10%, so they get 1,000 dong. And 1,000 dong is roughly 5.6 cents. So you can imagine, losing 900,000 dong, is roughly just under $50 Canadian. So you can just like imagine how long that would take, or how many lottery tickets you need to sell to make that up, which is absolutely devastating for her. It's really too bad. I hope that's not a common thing, but man, anybody who scams people for their money that are already poor and struggling to survive is just absolutely brutal. And I'm sure the person that did it I'm not sure, but I assume the person that did it is also struggling to survive, but that's still no excuse. Can't stand scammers. You won't believe that she's just approached me again. This is her. There she is. She just asked me to buy some lottery tickets from her, and I said, I already bought some for you today, don't you remember? And she said that she didn't remember. That's okay, I don't even remember what I did yesterday. I also forgot to mention that she's definitely a disabled looking kind of person too, which is really, really shitty that somebody took advantage of her. I also forgot to mention that she's definitely a disabled looking kind of person too, which is really, really shitty that somebody took advantage of her. Cô Yên cao. Okay, I've made it to the dock or the pier where I'm supposed to get a boat to cross the river, but I don't know who the hell I talked to or what I need to do to cross the river. So this is kind of odd. So I'm just gonna stand here and wait until I guess somebody offers me a ride. I'm not sure exactly how it works. This guy is straightening out his boat, might be offering me a ride. We'll see here. I'm not sure if what's going on. I'm a little confused. But there's a lot of trash in this river on the side here, which is really shitty to see. It's kind of gross. They told me to take the Tho, but I think the Tho means like a boat, like a small boat. Let me ask this guy. Em à, làm sao băng qua cái sông được vậy? Làm sao băng qua cái sông? Đò của ai? Hả? Qua sông thôi.
Anh đâu có thăm gì anh ơi? Anh không qua thăm kìa.
Okay, looks like I found someone to help me. So you're supposed to ask that lady over there, but how the hell was I supposed to know that? It's really, really strange how things are done around here. I guess I'll go talk to them. Xin chào cô, em cần đi băng qua cái sông. 10.000, ok 10.000. Chứ quay thôi à, quay chơi thôi. So they're making fun of her, like you should dress up, you should look a little, do your makeup before you go on YouTube. I just told them I'm just doing this for fun. It's gonna cost me 10,000, which is roughly $1.50. I'm gonna shut off my camera before I get on here so I don't drop it. So when I originally embarked on this journey, I was expecting a bridge to cross over. I didn't expect to have to take a boat, but this is pretty cool too. This is definitely the Can Tho River people experience here. And with that, I am now across the river onto the other side. That was a pretty easy and safe ride, I would say. Now I just got to pay the lady. Come on, yeah. And there she goes off back to the other side. Thanks for the ride. At the beginning of this video, I arrived in Can Tho yesterday evening, so we didn't get to do so much. But I did get a nice tour of the city at night, and that was fun. But boy, what a long day it was today, having to get up at 4:30 a.m. to go to the floating market. After the market, I still wasn't tired. So I told my uncle, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go walk downtown. And you know what he said? He said I was crazy. It was too far. But I had to tell him something. That when I travel, I love walking. It's truly the best way to explore a new area because you get to see things that you would never see if you didn't. So you know what? I'm glad I did it. Even though I put myself in a precarious situation, It worked out fine. As you can see here, we ended the evening with a huge feast with my relatives and my buddy Darren. I mean, look at all this food. It was absolutely delicious. On the next chapter, I check off a huge bucket list item and travel to the exact spot where my father, my mother, 2 uncles and an aunt escaped Vietnam in 1979. But first, I stop in a small town to visit my uncle, who happens to be a doctor. He takes me to a local market and shows me desserts that I've never had before. Afterwards, we head back to Can Tho for another motorbike tour with my uncle, and I learn more things about my family that I never knew. See you there!